What's going on, guys? Today we're doing hotchkis front sway bar installation on the is300. Alright, here's the tools: 12 mil, 14 mil, 17 mil, open end 14 mil, open end 16. Use a stubby 14 mil open end if you have it. Alright, so first you're going to want to remove the end links, and then we're going to want to remove the sway bar brackets, just the ones holding the sway bar, and then do these ones that actually the bracket mounts up to. Make sure you do it on both sides. Alright, now we got those out. So step one is to put in these new brackets. They're going to have 12 millimeters to mount them in. And side note, I don't know if it's because of the way they were like wrapped together in packaging, but one of them was like really hard to put on. I had to like really push on it and like flex it a little bit and play around with the order that I put the bolts in. But the other one went in no problem. I just assume it's the way they're packaged together. Alright, at this point you're good to put in your new sway bar. You're going to want to put the bushings and the mounting brackets on. Make sure you get a bunch of grease between where the sway bar and the bushing meet. You want to have it riding on grease and not the actual bushing. So then you're going to take your jack, and we have some new hardware here. We're going to take this, a jack and some stands if you have extra ones, or anything you can use to help hold it up while you're putting it in on your own on your back. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. Alright, so at this point you should have by using the stands and the jack, you should have one bolt in on each side, and then at this point put in the other nut and bolt. You're going to want to use a real stubby 14 millimeter to get them tight for an open end wrench, because if you look, it has a nut on in there. So use a stubby 14 millimeter and then tighten it down. I'll post the torque specs. So now what we're actually going to want to do is we're going to end up taking off the end links all the way. Don't touch on, if you have the FIGS adjustable ones, don't touch this nut on the end. That doesn't actually remove it. There's a 17 going through the lower control arm. You're going to take this out. Alright, so we've got it out, and now you're going to want to go ahead and set up the top part. And what we're going to do is you should be able to just slide the 17 in and get it started. You're going to want to use the jack to jack the lower control arm up. And like this, see, we got it jacked up, and you should be able to get the 17 millimeter started with no contest. You want the sway bar end link to be like, just like, you want everything to slide in. Make a little point here. Mine should be pointed straight at the ground, so you may have to go in and readjust. But yeah, that's it. New sway bar's in.